Well, a lot of activity in the break. Marcus Simeon, who got down to first base after the ground out, and he was all over Alan Porter. Porter's the guy who made the call, and Marcus stayed on him. And you can just about figure out what is going to happen here, as Alan Porter just decided to throw him out. And Marcus then came back and got his money's worth. Bob Melvin came out, and they let Bob Melvin argue quite a bit. He did not get thrown out. So Marcus Simeon is out of the game. Jim Reynolds is trying to be a peacemaker. That's his job as the crew chief. But Bob Melvin is not a happy man. So Pinder takes over at shortstop. Chapman runs, and that is strike 3 called. So that time the low strike was called, and Piscotty just got thrown out of the game. So Alan Porter strikes again, as he threw out Simeon last night. He throws out Piscotty today, and that's how the bottom of the 10th ends. So Piscotty, he did not say a lot, but whatever he said must have been the magic word, and now Bob Melvin gets thrown out. So the way it looks to me, the A's have probably had just about enough of Alan Porter.
Fair to say. Well, we've seen the bottom of this strike zone float and disappear at times. It's a good pitch here from Ozuna, but you can understand the frustration of these hitters. Later in the ball game, it gets higher leverage situations. You're trying to get a feel for what you need to cover up as far as the strike zone is concerned.
All right, so we are on to the 11th inning. And this game is all tied at 4-4.
But when I went to Minnesota and had a catcher that wasn't able to throw,
now they called a balk.
Yeah.
James Hoy is saying he stepped home and went to first.
And Gardy's going to argue that's his move. That's what he's been doing. There's supposed to be an imaginary line at 45 degrees that they have to get past. If you drew a line from the pitcher rubber to home plate and then cut it in half, a left-handed pitcher is supposed to pitch at least past that 45-degree imaginary line. Gardy.
Yeah, see you. He's going to get his money's worth now.
About 45 degrees. See where Matthew steps. And he's already going towards, and this is considered towards home plate, right? He's got to step on this side of that line, and he really didn't there. And that's probably why he got called for the balk.
Crowd appreciates the passion from their manager.
He's not sure if it'll happen then, but he thinks it's imminent, or at least very soon, hoping sometime next week.
Oh, they're chirping now and there. Look at him. They're on Dreckman. Uh-oh. 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 Here. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. There you go.
And they just threw out Ned Yost.
It's going to happen here. On balls and strikes, you're not allowed to chirp and argue. And if you want to argue, then you can get tossed.
Giolito has struck out 11, and 5 of them have been looking. And I think that is what Ned Yost has been barking about with his staff. There were examples of several off the plate that were called strikes, and Ned just fighting for his team.
And Ned's fans are loving that. Just sticking up for Alex.
It has been again tonight as Don Smith.
Look at the movement on that fastball. I mean, oh, there goes somebody. You knew it was coming. You knew it was coming.
Yep, Mickey Callaway racing out. He has had it with the strike zone tonight, and I think this may be the gasket blown for Callaway with Mike Winters.
Well, Ahmad Rosario got rung up in an important situation way off the plate. Frazier didn't like some of his calls. And with runners in scoring position and big hitters up, you don't want, I mean, you never want strikes called on hitters that are outside of the zone. But it frustrates managers because you want your hitters to have a chance.
Joe, I got to tell you, Winters is pretty patient there.
Yeah.
I mean, usually you see a quick rejection on this.
This is actually a perfect pitch, but this is because of all the pitches before that they're quite upset. And you see Dominic Smith complaining, and that just kind of set Mickey off.
Between innings was having a conversation with Jeremy Rehak. It did not last long as Ausmus was tossed.
Designated hitter Shohei Ohtani,
former MVP of the American League. And that got him a piece of his jersey. Put runners at first and third, and what in the world is he mad about? You know, it's Donaldson barking, and now the bench is empty, and Donaldson throws Diaz to the side, and now here they come. Didn't see any punches thrown, but certainly a shove from Donaldson, shoving Elias Diaz to the side.
And this is Donaldson, all on Donaldson. I mean, he gets hit in the shirt, not a body part, but in the shirt. And he's going to...
I couldn't believe he was barking at Musgrove.
Well, he's barking at Musgrove. Why are you looking at me? Because Musgrove's looking at him like, why are you looking at me?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so Donaldson's sitting there staring at him with this disgusted look, and Musgrove looks back at him. What's Musgrove supposed to go crawl under the mound? You know? Try to intimidate Musgrove, but Musgrove's not going to take any of that. And so because of Donaldson staring out, now what are you looking at me for? Well, because you're looking at me.
Now the umpires will gather to discuss if any action will be taken. Again, it barely grazes the jersey.
It hits the button.
And he's mad about that.
Yeah, so he's looking at Musgrove, looking at Musgrove.
Watch him shove Diaz off to the side. Looks like many baseball skirmishes, the guy never gets to the guy he's yelling at. Convenient. What's going to happen here? They're not talking about Musgrove. Well, they'll go ballistic here if they take Musgrove out of this game. No way. Oh my goodness. I think they're going to throw Musgrove out of the game. Look at this. Holy mackerel, this would be unbelievable. For her to react like this, I mean, he's not going to act like that over a warning. I'm guessing Musgrove has been tossed from this game. Let's go down to Robbie. He might have overheard something.
I did, yeah. All I heard is you can't do that to Joe. You can't do that to Joe. And that's what Clint Hurdle is angry about. And the rest of the guys in the Pirates dugout are saying the same thing. Joe Musgrove has indeed been ejected from this
This is unbelievable.
There is no way.
Unbelievable. What in the world is going on? Wow. And Hurdle just got tossed.
Oh, you have to get tossed. This is ridiculous.
This is I've never seen anything like it. That's unbelievable.
That is unbelievable.
This is one of the most stunning things. Of course, it's in Atlanta again, of all places. Remember the call. It's incredible. They are going to toss Musgrove from this game for that. Are you kidding me? Wow. Baseball, you've got to be kidding. Look at this.
Been the theme of the night. Going the other way with it, Andrus will gun. Is a very good arm. Plenty of time. 2 down. Well, Alex Cora out. Talking with the first base umpire, Carapazza. Wonder if Andrew Benintendi's been thrown out of the game. He has been thrown out of the game. They have run Benintendi. Angel Hernandez, who's the crew chief, coming up as well up that line.
Well, let's see if we can find out what happened. I mean, they see Benintendi being thrown out of the game. He was hot about something, but it didn't look like he was reacting to the first base umpire. And Cora's still trying to make his argument out there. From what I'm watching, I couldn't see who Benintendi was hot at or why he was hot. He grounded out.
And Cora has now been run. Alex Cora has been thrown out of the game. And he is hot at Angel. And now he's going after Carapazza.
This is the first time we've seen Cora this hot.
Well, I can't remember a moment of last season where he needed to be. So this is Benintendi after he crossed first base. That's a routine play.
Okay, crosses first base. That looked all routine. Looks back, and it looks like he's looking at the home plate umpire, Hernandez.
Generally, it was DH or left field.
That ball smoked off the wall and left. And Cabrera is going to try for two. He almost hit that one too hard, but he is in there with the double. No, he's called out. Initially safe, and then the out signal from Jordan Baker. So it's a single and then an assisted second to put out Cabrera for the second out of the inning. Here comes Chris Woodward. And Woody, I think, saying like, hey, we haven't had our full 30 seconds. We haven't made a decision yet. Angel Hernandez, he tends to find himself in these spots. And Woody has also been ejected.
Biggest cheer the Red Sox fans have had tonight.
Wow. And Woody, this is his first opportunity to really get out there. And
I just have to think that if Woody is arguing like that, he's on the right side of this argument. I have no idea exactly what's being said, but I don't know that we've seen him this animated all season long, and for him to get that upset, he's got to have a pretty good argument.
Well, I wonder if the argument he's making is that there was a safe call, right? He made a safe call and then made an out call, and I don't know what it's going to be interesting to talk to him about it. Boy, he came flying out of that dugout.
And the pitch by Anderson, another breaking ball, but that'll be down. So now Meadows ahead in the count, 2-0. And now Bob Melvin's been thrown out. And he's coming out to argue with Sean Barber.
And I bet it's about the pitches, because the one thing about the guys in the dugout, I mentioned the managers, they can see because they're at that eye level.
And Bob Melvin right now is going to get his money worth. That was a very quick hook. I believe that's ejection number 43 on his career.
I mean, the point is, if you're going to give their catcher that call, then you got to give my catcher the call. And it seems like, in Bob's view, it was one-sided.
In the last few years with Detroit, Jose Iglesias, the pitch, strike three called, painted the outside corner with a fastball. Iglesias doesn't want to leave home plate.
Did David Bell just get tossed?
Somebody did. And now Bell and Barrett having a conversation.
He just said stop. That's twice, and gone. That's it. He gave him 2 warnings. Stop, go.
Somebody barking from the Reds dugout.
Guessing it could be Turner Ward.
Freeman walks, score.
Strike 3 above the belt. A high strike rings up Ronald Acuna, and right now the strike zone's a mystery. It really is. You see what Brian Snitker thought of the call and where he thought the pitch was. It takes the Braves out of the inning, and Acuna was frustrated by it. And Snitker came out, argued balls and strikes, which is an automatic ejection. So he's thrown out, and then Acuna, bat and helmet go bouncing. Trip Gibson compounds his mistake by finding Acuna for throwing the gear. And the Braves will move on to the 5th inning without their leader, Brian Snitker.
Prince Twins jerseys. They'll be taking those back to Manhattan.
Yeah, same color pack. Oh no.
Hunter Wendelstedt has not had a consistent strike zone tonight. And he is an umpire who has a very short fuse.
Wow, that hurts. Didn't take long. Neds want to know why.
There's the pitch that was considerably low if we're going to believe the strike zone grid. And I don't know if that's enough or if it's worth getting thrown out of the game.
That's one way to use the giveaway. They're here.
The Reds in somewhere back behind there.
Oh, Ron Gardenhire just got tossed. Now he's going to get his money's worth with Manny Gonzalez.
You're saying the ball's down. Manny Gonzalez is a veteran umpire. He's just you know, Gardy's frustrated. Me too. So Gardy, and he's gone longer in the past, but he's getting smarter. I mean, the longer you're out there, you just want to watch what you say.
Late call. Fifth strikeout for Montas.
And what happened with Kyle on his first AB is not happy right now. So, or Scott, yep, there you go. Hustle out there, because I don't think Kyle's going to go anywhere in a hurry. That's 2 at-bats right now. Kyle thought that pitch was down out of the strike zone. It was borderline, and then the check swing in his first at-bat. Scott doing a nice job getting out there.
Boom,
there he goes.
he's out. 5 strikeouts for Montas, and now he's going to just defend his guys. Got to.
Well, that's what he's telling him right now. This is the reason why I came out here. And throwing me out.
Manny going to come out to get Scott. They'll violently disagree. Scott's run for the ball game.
We'll take a look at the pitch. That is borderline, probably down out of the strike zone. Again, it was a check swing on Kyle's first at bat that he also thought that he had walked. Scott not happy. He thinks it's down. And now with the argument, he did the right thing to go out there and get his player out of the way, and Kyle's to keep him in the ball game.
Castillo turns to look at Phil Cuzzy. And it's called ball 3. And Phil Cuzzy just ran Wellington Castillo. Ricky Renteria comes out trying to help Castillo. Ricky said, Phil, listen to me. Castillo turned. So now James McCann is DHing tonight. Castillo is irate. Whatever was said, Wellington is fired up. Now Ricky's fired up.
And usually this results in Ricky getting thrown out of the game.
And there it is. Phil Cuzzy just ran Ricky Renteria as well.
Well, you know that's coming because Ricky wants to get his money's worth. And it's 7-0. The fans have shown up. It's a full house tonight, so they might as well get a little entertainment. And Ricky gets a heave-ho along with Wellington. And that pitch had a part of the inside corner. I mean, we've seen that pitch, that exact same pitch called tonight.
Good arms now.
Strike 3 call. Machado does not like it. And we'll say some things here to Bill Welke. Yeah, and he's going to get tossed. Manny Machado is tossed from this game. Ooh, and throwing his bat off the backstop after being ejected. And he will head to the clubhouse.
Well, let's go back to the pitch here.
It's a fastball off the plate at 97. We've seen a lot of pitches tonight, both ways called off the plate strikes. Sure, Manny has a legitimate gripe, but as I said, when you're around the plate, he got that particular call there. Does he have a right to gripe? Yes, but the bad thing here is, though, what happened after this. You know, the ejection, what's going to happen. Then he threw his bat. That's not a good thing.
To center field, Myers out there in center for the first out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. So 1 down.
We got chirping going on.
A lot of chirping. What's going on there?
I don't know.
Andy Green is coming out of the dugout and pointing. Not sure at what, but Welke went back at him, and now Andy coming out more. Saying somebody's not talking to you. I'm not sure who he thought was talking to him. And now Andy Green's been tossed. And he's just going to try to get Andy off the field. Taking multiple coaches to get him out of here, and they're having
the switch.
No success.
Bradley Jr. above average as well.
The one delivery's bunting. It's a safety squeeze. Now they're going to come in and score. Throw will go to first and get the out. Ooh. Tough play as Brewer looked home and then had to do a 360, but a fine bunt laid down and scoring from third base Santander.
Yeah,
and the Orioles tie it up.
Yeah, great play right here, and I think they're going to review this play here to make sure that
the umpires are going to meet on this. There's not a challenge here because that play is in front of the bag. Discussion going on with Brandon Hyde now. Crew chief is Mark Carlson, the second base umpire, who is in there with a home plate umpire, Trip Gibson. And thrown out is Brandon Hyde. Hyde just got heaved because that is what they're saying. There was interference. The base runner was out of the base pass and he just got tossed out of the ball game.
I think this crew was preparing for this when they met out on the infield right there. I'll mess with Brandon Hyde right now. He's been a little irritated last couple days, and that is not a good call. Man.
So Brandon is out. And the runner's got to go back to third. That run will not score. Santander's got to go back.
Gosh.
Oh, an ejection from the Rangers bench. Chris Woodward's just been thrown. Now we saw this before the 5th inning. Saw Doug Eddings go over and talk to Woody. It looked like an amicable conversation. And I just heard him yelling, one more. And whatever it was, he heard it and has ejected Chris Woodward. And obviously after the Cabrera strikeout, a called third strike, there was some discontent in the Rangers dugout.
Well, Asdrubal had seen a number of breaking balls and then a fastball. And, you know, no hitter's going to like that call, but a pitcher with the kind of command that Bieber has lives on that kind of command.
Cabrera,
that's not good.
No.
That is definitely not good.
So it must have been Cabrera who was ejected and not Woody.
That's going to add to the penalty.
Yeah, those may have carried a little better than he thought they were when he initially tossed them.
You know, it was a borderline pitch. There's no doubt about it, but it wasn't the kind of call that was a blatant mistake.
Strike 3 call. Gerardo Parra has been ejected.
Well, that's big if he was going in for defense. I don't think he was. He's probably going to look at what we're going to look at right now, and that was outside.
I don't know what he said, but did you think that was a quick hook?
Had to say something. That was fast.
And he's letting Dave Roberts know, and somebody just got thrown out of the game.
I hope it's not Justin Turner. And Dave Roberts coming over here to explain the voices. How can you discern who yelled that at you and then throw somebody out?
And I think it is Turner. I think you're right.
And they only have 3 bench players tonight. No, they're up to 4 now with Beatty being called up. That's pretty sensitive for a man in blue to toss Justin, because that would be the first words out of his mouth, and nobody in the stands knows it.
We've seen some really good restraint from umpires this season, with some pretty strong arguments coming from both sides. That is the opposite end of that spectrum. It's Chad Fairchild, who has a really good reputation. He's been a full-time umpire since 2010. He's done the postseason a bunch. A quick trigger, it appears, on Turner. And now Fairchild gonna wait until Turner vacates the dugout. Justin still can't believe that it's him.
And that's what you should do if you're the player. Stay there and make them re-identify you. And Justin's even going to be madder when he goes in and sees it on TV and how liberal a strike call it was, that it wasn't over the plate. Not his or Max's. And signaling the safe sign there was no visit because of the delay.
I mean, it almost brings tears to your eyes to think about that, and then have Savali have the start that he's had thus far.
Well, particularly in the start of this year, too, when you look at from a personal level in Savali's case. He's throwing breaking balls now.
And now it looks like Castellanos just got rung.
Well, the pitches that Castellanos is arguing were in the box. They were strikes and quality strikes. This isn't a right-handed pitcher that is so erratic that you're giving a called strike on a corner. But maybe this is the frustration of Castellanos coming out of where he's at in this season and all the trade rumors and his personal situation. It starts to really rear its head inside that one at bat.
Castellanos had words for the home plate umpire Roberto Ortiz. I mean, that's a borderline pitch right there. It's really close.
Ball got his hands, and they say he swung at it.
Oh.
He just said, I didn't swing.
I don't know about that.
We can't even review it, you know, because they said he swung. You can review it if it's a hit by pitch. But you can't review it
with a check swing.
On a check swing. And that's the first time that Gabe Kapler's been thrown out of a ball game.
He's getting his money's worth.
There he is.
Take a look. Did not swing at it.
It did hit his hands.
Back of his right hand.
He didn't swing though.
No, he did not.
And we're not done. Oh,
boy.
Warning, Joe West has warned both teams. Why would you warn them? I mean, I know you have back-to-back home runs.
I have no idea.
Gabe's saying, why are you warning us?
Oh, Gabe's been thrown out for the second time on this homestand. Atrocious, I see, he said. It was a quick exit, but it also is a quick warning. I know that there's obviously history with the rivalry. There was Reese's slow trot around the bases the last time the Phillies were facing the Mets.
Ball and 2 strikes from Scherzer and a called strike 3. Well, another double-digit strikeout performance for Max Scherzer.
That one just caught the corner. Oh, hold on. Miguel Rojas was still barking about that last strike call. And Mike Estabrook has thrown him out of the game. So out of the dugout comes Rojas.
Yeah, that was an interesting set of circumstances right there. Don Mattingly kind of got caught in defending his player and at the same time letting his player speak his piece. Rojas, one of the team leaders of this Marlins crew.
I think the general gist of the conversation, we'll hear more from Donnie after the game, is that Scherzer's good. Holly, kind of what you just said. He's good enough. He doesn't need extra inches off the edges. Donnie and Miggy done for the night. To the ninth.
Pretty famous throughout baseball. Strike 3 called. And some words with Kerwin Danley, and he threw him out of the game.
David Bell's going to run out there before it gets out of hand, and he ends up doing something to cost him a couple of games.
And hopefully he didn't make contact when he was pointing that finger.
Well, Danley acted like he did. He actually pointed his own finger into his own chest. Puig was very upset after that first pitch. It was called a strike. It looked like it could have been inside, but it was called a strike, and Puig never recovered in that at bat after that pitch. He fouled off the second pitch to make it 0-2, and he was still worried about the first pitch. Belge just got rung by Kerwin Danley.
And now Puig tosses his bat and his helmet into the batter's box, and David Bell is going to get his money's worth. They are having to pull away Puig so that this doesn't escalate further.
This is all over a strikeout.
Yeah.
It was, and called strike 3. And Cargo saying you can't give them both. And now Joe Maddon's going to come out and try to protect Carlos Gonzalez. And he just got thrown out arguing balls and strikes. Now he fires the bat to the ground. Joe Maddon tried to get there in time to save Cargo, but he got there too late. And Gonzalez strikes out for the second time. Strike 2 looked like a strike. We'll have to take a look at strike 3's call. To your point, if it was close on strike 2, you got to swing the bat on that close pitch, and Gonzalez didn't.
Well, you called it, Birdie. You know, you said it. And a lot of times when you do that, throw it away. I'm not saying the umpire's out to get you, but it definitely doesn't make them happy, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, if I was pitching and you showed up the umpire, I just felt like I had to put the next one close. I wondered what it was like for a hitter, and if you felt like you had to be swinging.
That was a strike.
Oh, and those are tough pitches. Those are tough pitches for me to be taking right there. I mean, 3-2, I'm not leaving the ump up with that choice.
And Nick Lentz very calmly put his hand up, told Gonzalez, stop, stop. Carlos couldn't stop.
Dozier rips one into the left field corner. 2-0 Washington. Dozier hustles for 2, kicks it into high gear, and then puts on the brakes. Thought about it for a moment. Instead, it's a clutch 2-out RBI double. And Ron Gardenhire just got tossed. He's arguing about the ball that Soto thought was strike 3. And now Gardenhire is going to get his full 30 seconds or so.
Hit Peraza. Sure did. That was a breaking ball. And obviously no intent there. Getting him with a breaking ball. This guy's wild anyway.
And that's why. And now look, David Bell's coming out, and I'm sure he's saying you've given a warning to each team. And I'm sure he's asking the question, if he gave a warning and a pitcher hit another batter, right, then why isn't he thrown out of the game? Now, that's what I'm sure he's arguing, but I'm sure the home plate umpire is saying, do you really think he meant to hit him with that pitch?
Look, David is playing the game right now. He's trying to make a young pitcher wait a long time in between batters. If he actually got the decision to throw Maples out of the ball game, it makes the Cubs use one extra pitcher going into tomorrow.
And David thrown out of the game with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 9th inning. And boy, he is really upset. I mean, really upset.
I think David is more upset right now about the Puig hit batter than he is about the breaking ball that just hit Peraza.
That's the 6th time this year that David Bell's been thrown out of a game. You got to go all the way back to Clark Griffith and back-to-back years in the early 1900s. A manager, and that includes guys like Lou Piniella, right, among others.
Say something to Bruce Druckman when he gets back up there, but that's been the norm here in the early going.
And they're already saying something to Bruce Druckman. Druckman took exception to what he was hearing from the Rays dugout, and Kevin Cash will get his money's worth. Druckman was pretty emphatic.
He definitely gave him enough warning.
So Kevin Cash with a few parting words.
See, if the video replay review came back and Kiermaier was not at first base, we had him thrown out then. Little did we realize it wouldn't take much longer.
2 in a row and you're gone.
He said, we just looked at it, it's a ball, and it's 2 in a row.
Curveball misses, 1-0. So Greinke will hit. Mike Malinsky is hearing it from the Diamondback dugout, and Torey Lovullo's been ejected. Mike Malinsky looked over there, said, what have you got to say? Torey said something, and it was a run immediately. And he's got an issue with some of the strike calls by the plate umpire, Mike Malinsky. And here comes the crew chief, Dan Isonia, all the way over from first base as Malinsky's trying to walk away. Torey's not letting him go. And finally, Isonia breaks it up. This was called a ball. And right away, you can see Malinsky look into the Diamondback dugout twice. And that's when Torey said something, and this is the reaction right here. You're done.
Well, he might have been barking at him on some of those other back doors like to Kelly that punched him out, the hitter before. And it might have been something that was stewing on some of the other pitches also.
Oh, yeah. It's never about one pitch, ever. Miles lets loose on a 3-2, and Javi. Okay, that ball hit the knob of the bat. We've had that happen a few times.
Miles in to check on him, and obviously no, got the knob. I'm good. Otherwise, I'd be jogging down to first base.
Joe West hearing it from the dugout. Not sure what's going on there. So we'll try it again.
Joe just got run. I think with all the up and in stuff that Lyles is throwing here today, Joe was barking at Lyles perhaps, or wanted West to do something about it.
That's with Clint.
Yeah.
Joe's, I think this is a little calculated too.
Well, I think it's born of frustration. It's born of wanting to fire up the troops. The Pirates have a reputation of pitching inside.
Joe's tired of his guys getting hit. But I think first and foremost, it's rallying the troops. And so it may have been that the Cubs dugout were barking a little bit at Lyles, and Clint may have said something in the direction of the Cubs dugout. I don't know. And now the trainer out to check on Lyles.
Tried to get time, wasn't granted, and
wait, this is what I don't like right here. The umpire's yelling back at the player, and all he's doing is asking. He tried to call time.
And a grounder that's hit to short. Munoz frustrated, and now Rob Drake is screaming at the Cardinal dugout.
It's just uncalled for. I mean, if you can't handle your job behind the plate, you need to move on. He's been in this game too long to act like that. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Mike gets ejected because of the actions of the home plate umpire. And I am not a big fan of that at all. No one's here to watch you umpire, by the way.
Last year was a second baseman.
This gets Frazier. Not pleased.
And this year he's an all-star as a shortstop.
Now some barking between Frazier and Arrieta. Arrieta, who also hit Pete Alonso with his second pitch thrown tonight. Now the umpires gathering, and both benches are being worn.
Todd Frazier's quite upset here because he'd probably like to see someone get knocked down here. And I think this is the frustrations is pent up from the losing that the Mets have been going through.
Now Frazier's having to be held back from one of the umpires, and Mickey Callaway saying, "Why are you warning us?" And it looks like somebody got run. Looks like Frazier's the one who's been tossed. He'll get his money's worth. And he might need a new helmet. And Trip Gibson, our home plate umpire, having none of that. And he hit him. His third hit batted the second this inning. And Mickey's saying, why is he still in the game?
Same pitch he hit Frazier on. Now what's Mickey saying here?
Well, Mickey wants him thrown out, but I understand. I actually, you know, as a manager, I've been on the side, and I'd want him thrown out as well. But it was a changeup. You're not trying to hit somebody with a changeup with second and third. It's not an automatic ejection. But, you know, as a manager, you're frustrated. It's the third guy that's got hit. Your star, Alonso, got hit in the first inning with a fastball. These last two have been changeups. And I actually think that Tripp does a good job here, even though if I was on the other side, I would have got tossed.
Little high. Price didn't like that non-call. Oh, Cabrera's the one who got rung up. That was a late call by Will Little.
Yeah, I thought that ball was inside and a little bit up, but Little didn't think so. It's a really good pitch there by David Price. He knew exactly what Miggy was trying to do, and he just wasn't going to allow him to do it, and he made a quality pitch.
Cabrera didn't like that call either. Will Little is chirping back.
Yeah, Miggy's not happy. He's not happy with that call.
Yeah, you could hear Will Little say, Miggy, I'm not talking to you.
Yeah.
Ron Gardenhire is talking with Joe West right here. Joe West is the crew chief for this umpiring crew this weekend here in Detroit. And Ron Gardenhire just wants to make sure they're on the same page. And Gardenhire just got tossed. He just got tossed by Will Little because Gardenhire was fighting and standing up for Miguel Cabrera.
Well, who got tossed? Steve Little came out trying to, I think, keep Miggy in the game. I'm pretty sure it was Ron Gardenhire who got tossed. This is what we talk about every time Ron Gardenhire, and this is the 8th ejection of the year. He's almost always protecting somebody in the dugout from getting tossed out.
Well, this is something here. It really is, because the pitches to Miggy were good pitches.
Absolutely were, but he was chirping going into the dugout. I don't think the chirping ever stopped, Jim.
It did not stop, and to see him come out with his hat off and doing what he's doing, that's the umpires don't like that.
Well, we'll have to find out if both were ejected, if it was Miggy ejected, or if it was Gardy ejected. I thought it was Gardy. What did you think?
I thought it was Miggy.
Okay. One of us is right. So Gardy's still in the dugout. Guess who's right? You are correct.
I hate to be right on this one.
2-2 to Joey Votto, and he gets it. Good start for Brian Shaw.
Joey's arguing still at the plate. Thought that pitch was off the plate.
His helmet's off.
Yeah, he should get thrown.
He's getting tossed right now. James Boyd, the home plate umpire, has ejected Joey Votto for arguing balls and strikes. He didn't like that call in a 15-9 game in the 9th inning.
He's still trying to get his money's worth, and now Eric Cooper, the crew chief, will come in and get in between he and James Hoy. Well, once he kept standing at home plate and arguing, even Suarez tried to get in, let him say his piece, but then just walk away. That was it. He didn't want to hear anymore.
Now you have David Bell out there arguing with the umpires.
Well, you can't argue balls and strikes. That'll get you tossed. I'm wondering why they're letting David Bell talk so much here.
Going to be.
I mean, usually that's kind of an automatic. You sit there and you argue for a few minutes. The umpire will say to you, "You can't argue balls and strikes. What are you still doing? Why are you still out here?"
Sometimes then the opposing manager will come out saying, "Why the time?" And
yeah,
at this point, Bud Black didn't leave his post.
And hanging breaking balls.
Turner's hit by a pitch, and Yaxel Rios has been thrown out of the ballgame. That's a slider. It's a slider that hits Turner, and he's been thrown out of the ball game. I think Turner's even saying to Doug Eddings that it was a slider. Rios has been thrown out. There's nothing. I mean, he's been thrown out of the ball game by Doug Eddings, so he's out. I mean, I know this is a butt whipping, but that's not intentional. It's a slider. All right, so Rios is out. The Phillies will bring in a new pitcher who, like an injury, can get all the time he needs. So a pitching change because Rios has been ejected for the ball game. Jim Gott will let us know who's coming in. Whomever it is still getting himself ready to head on out of the bullpen.
Here's the 3-2 and a called strike 3. Grandal is barking at the home plate umpire. Jordan Baker rips off his mask, and now Baker throws him out. And Craig Counsell's probably going to go with him. Grandal barked quickly, was walking back to the dugout. Jordan Baker ripped off his mask. And with Grandal walking away, even though he's yelling at him, he threw him out. And the stare down is on.
Well, you know who always wins those arguments. As frustrating as it might be, he always gets the last word, the umpire. And the cutter.
It's a good pitch.
And Freeze as that one go over his back, and now Neris is thrown out of the game. A fastball that time that went over the back of David Freeze, who wasn't pleased about it, as you would imagine.
No, I don't blame him.
Yep. Chris Conroy pretty composed. He just said, I have to make that decision. And Gabe is thrown out. 95-mile-an-hour fastball that hit Freeze. Thought it went over his back, but it hit him. No reaction from JT. Like last night, JT reacted because, and rightfully so, it was a slider. Now he's talking to Bill Miller about it with Reese and Brad Miller. So Ranger Suarez will come in. He's been warming up.
And Soler takes a called third strike. And Soler just got thrown out of the game. So if the White Sox score 11 in the ninth, Jorge Soler will not get another at bat tonight.
Backdoor breaking ball again from Workman. He drops it on the outside corner. Dan Sonia's just thrown somebody out of the ball game in the Blue Jays dugout. Somebody said something to Sonia, and he has thrown somebody out. He's a crew chief of this umpiring crew.
Well, third base umpire Ayasagna is yelling at the dugout of the Blue Jays.
Yeah, somebody's giving him some grief from the dugout.
That was Marcus Stroman there.
The 1-2 on the way to Gardner, and it's called strike 3. Brendan Miller with the call. Gardy's shaking his head no. 2 down.
I think Hardy's got a beef. I mean, there's excellent movement, but that ball just didn't really get there. So give the catcher credit for a really good framing job, presentation to this young umpire. But
you know what I noticed during the course of the year? That Aaron Boone is not afraid to say something to the umpire on bad pitches or bad. See, right now, let's go. Here's DJ LeMahieu, who had a booming double to the gap in left center his first time.
I like that one, Paulie. That was a nice safe snap.
Yeah.
Nice and safe. Both hands on the barrel, on the handle.
All right. Some more heat coming from the Yankee dugout. It's no balls and 2 strikes. Well, at least the water cooler's still intact, right, Paul?
Well, I tell you one thing, it wouldn't have been if I could. But I tell you, it just eats at you because you don't know what would have happened if you had a thing. And now we got you make a mistake, now I'll throw you out. This is the game I don't.
Well, get your money's worth, Aaron. Here come the veteran umpire, Jerry Davis. I'll tell you what, young umpires, they take heat.
Yeah.
Look at Brett Gardner.
That's what it's all about right there, protecting your players. That's how a manager earns respect among the, inside the clubhouse.
Well, Ricky now is having an argument with Adam Hammery. Now, Ricky doesn't want his lips read, but he is pretty much airing him out about something. Wow. Yeah, that came pretty quickly. We don't know exactly what it was, but Ricky was not a happy man.
And strike 3 called. And Suarez having some words with Carlos Torres, the home plate umpire. That's rare for Suarez. You don't see that very often.
Well, it's kind of interesting the reaction that Torres had right here. He had a funny reaction last night when Puig raised his hands to him on a check swing when he was umpiring first base. Suarez makes a big turn after this. Whether it's a ball or a strike, you be the judge. Looking pretty good. But Torres does not seem like he's the kind of umpire that is just going to turn his shoulder away and put up with it.
Well, lots of fireworks since we were away.
Well, we showed you what was going on between Suarez and home plate umpire Carlos Torres. When Suarez was rung up on a pitch he thought was not in the strike zone, and he said something when he went by Torres on his way to third base. By the time David Bell got out, Torres had already ejected Eugenio Suarez from the ballgame. So the Reds are going to be looking for another third baseman here.
And David Bell got the heave-ho as well. That is the 7th time that he has been ejected from a game, and it's his first year as manager of the Cincinnati Reds. And that is now a record for David Bell. The most ejections for a rookie manager in history, and the most in any season by a manager of the Cincinnati Reds.
Wow. Iannetta just got called out. He didn't think so.
Bud's about to get rung up. Well, players never like it when a home plate umpire makes the call, not a first base umpire. Doug Eddings just threw out Bud Black. Go get your money's worth if he threw him out.
Foul tip, and Grandal hangs on. A 1-2-3 7th, and now the manager's been ejected. Or has it been Ketel Marte? It might be Ketel Marte. Will stay right here. Here comes Torey Lovullo. Well, you mentioned those calls in the previously in the at-bat. So Marte is immediately run by Sam Holbrook, the crew chief, the plate umpire. Now Torey Lovullo's out there. And nothing from Torey, so we'll take a break. Here's the ejection now as Marte strikes out on a foul tip. Slams the bat and is run. The helmet goes.
I can't believe he called that a strike, and neither can Pilar. Guys want to know what the heck's going on here with the strike zone.
Now they've seen high fastball strikes. I haven't seen any high breaking ball strikes.
Get on the ground to third. And that'll end the inning. So Pilar's going to have to be careful when he walks. He just kicked him out.
Pablo Sandoval and Jose Agosillo walking him off.
He'd been thrown out at this point. It was really, you could see it coming.
This goes back. This goes back to the walk that Voit took on a 3-2 pitch that looked like it dotted the corner down and away. And holding up 2 fingers earlier in the at bat, ball 3 was a pitch that was down and away. We had that one out of the strike zone. We had the last one right on the corner. Larry Vanover, the crew chief, letting Baldelli speak his piece. Here's the pitch in question.
Right there. It was just a huge pitch, and to not get that call right there when it actually was a strike in that situation.
Second ejection for Baldelli.
That's a bad miss. Okay, you got to get real small in the strike zone.
Somebody's going to get tossed, and it could be more than one. Ramon De Jesus has had enough. Here comes Derek Shelton, the acting manager. A couple days ago, of course, Aaron Boone went on a rant. That was picked up audibly and visually. James Rowson, the hitting coach, we're told, is the guy who left the dugout. Two and one, the count to Adrianza.
But it's a swan. Rizzo strikes out swinging. Inflatable swans. Cap, thank you. For some reason, Anthony Rizzo just got kicked out of this game. Now, he swung and missed for strike 3 and was clearly upset. But apparently Jordan Baker immediately gave him the thumb. So Baker may have thought Rizzo said something toward him. I don't know. But that's an odd one.
Trying to recall the at bat. Was there a pitch?
That's the one I think Anthony didn't love.
Right-handed batter in there. Double play could be in order here. And it's a strike. And the third base dugout doesn't like it again. Somebody just got tossed. Not a coach. It might have been Kyle Freeland.
I think it was.
He might have caught the very tail end of this, or the very beginning of it as we went to break, but Dan Iasonia has ejected Cody Bellinger.
And Cody then went into, this is how far off the plate it was. Dave Roberts kind of intercepts the argument, but Cody gets his point across from about 6 feet away, creeping in and showing exactly how far off the plate the pitches were, and there were at least 3 or 4 like that over the course of 2 at bats. One is tough to take, but when you start to get more than one, hitters get really frustrated.
A lot of times in those situations, those highly emotional situations, you see guys exaggerate. Bellinger wasn't exaggerating. That is how far off of the plate, in Cody's words, if you're reading his lips. All night, Dan Iasonia has gone off of the plate 3, 4, 5 inches.
All the time.
Yeah.
Sox Appeal.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that show.
God damn it.
Well, I don't think Brock liked that call at all.
I'll tell you next at bat.
Gonna go take a look at it.
That's what you need a mic for, so we can.
Oh, he's been thrown out.
Oh, yeah.
Brock Holt has been tossed by DJ Rayburn.
I mean, I don't know if he swore or not, but he gave him an earful to begin with. You think about it.
Wow. Yep, he was hot. Called out on strikes by the home plate ump Rayburn, who's had a big plate.
Well, he was on his way back when he got the heave-ho.
One of the reasons why the game went just 2:22 last night, and a call third strike. Marte can't believe it. Maybe a liberal strike zone, at least for 3 batters into it. And look out! And here comes Clint Hurdle. He's barking at Hunter Wendelstedt. And he wants Starling Marte out of there before he gets ejected, and he's going to have his piece with the home plate umpire. And we wanted to keep it here just in case. Yep, be careful. I think he just got tossed.
He did.
Yep.
He got tossed.
Yep. He just got tossed, arguing the balls and strikes and indicating how far out of the zone it was. So Clint Hurdle frustrated these days. His team really struggling. Losers of 6 in a row, 8 of 9, and 13 of 15, and his frustration boils over in the very first inning.
Oops. That'll be strike 2, and Adam Eaton's going to have to stop and come back and get the bat. Not a strike, but it's 3-2. Nasty slider at 88. And still a word or two. And Adam Eaton has been tossed from the game.
Huh. There was a reason why I Googled Jeremy Rehak today and saw all the ejections. We're here in the bottom of the first, and he's thrown somebody out already. Just told you he has a short fuse. Now Davey's gone. This guy lives to throw people out of games. I think he'd rather do that than ump.
Davey's going to rearrange the batter's box a bit.
I'll tell you what, the last time Davey Martinez got thrown out was May 23rd. It was when the Nats got swept by the Mets, and they went on an epic run after that. So maybe this gets everybody going after 3 losses.
Get your money's worth, Davey. It was a bad call on strike 2. Eden did strike out swinging on a nasty slider, but that one's all about strike 2 and an umpire, a young guy with a really short fuse.
In between innings there, David Bell was out arguing with home plate umpire Bill Miller. And Nick Senzel's been ejected from this game. And here's the reaction to a pitch earlier in the at-bat. And then Senzel, in the face of Bill Miller, held back by third base coach J.R. House and tossed, said the magic words. Out came David Bell, who did not get ejected. So the Reds have a new center fielder. Philip Ervin out there in center field as Nick Senzel tossed from the game.
Well, that's just such a needless ejection. I know you get emotionally involved on the field. You know, you get in the heat of the battle, and sometimes you do things, you say things that you don't think out ahead of time. But I mean, for the greater good of your ball club, that just seems like a very needless ejection. I mean, say your piece to the umpire and leave. He's not going to change his call.
Called strike 3. That was way out of the zone. Angel Hernandez flat missed it and took the bat out of Eloy Jimenez's hands.
Well, it's a shame that a really wonderful at bat has to end that way. Angel just not having a good day, and Ricky better be careful because he's going to get the boot.
He doesn't want to be careful, and he's going to give it to Angel Hernandez, and the crowd is absolutely behind the Sox skipper on this one, and rightfully so. That pitch was not close.
No, it was out of the zone by plenty. Eloy had a great at bat. Looked like he was going to drive in a run with ball 4. This one clearly low and out of the zone. I mean, look how long Castro has to frame it and bring it back up in the zone. Eloy with a good eye, a lot of patience, and it ends in a bad way for him.
Boo. They learn early.
There is a serious conversation going on right now, and Garrett is hot. And now there's some serious chirping coming from the Pirates dugout. And now Garrett's on his way to the dugout, and here we go. Oh! Garrett goes in there punching. This is not a good scene at all.
I don't know who he went after, but he got in there, and he is right in the middle of it.
Oh, my goodness.
And Amir Garrett is outnumbered, and here we go. Both sides have cleared.
I mean, Amir Garrett went straight to the dugout and threw a haymaker at somebody, and this is a real brawl. I mean, there are guys swinging left and right down there in front of that dugout.
There's about 3 different piles right now, one right in front of the dugout, one off the right, and one to the left.
You can feel it brewing and brewing and brewing, and I'm not sure the umpires are going to be able to break up this one.
Well, they're going to have to look back on this. There's David Bell, who came back out of the clubhouse, going after Clint Hurdle, evidently.
Bell having words with Hurdle.
David Bell has come back out of the Reds dugout, and he's having to be restrained.
Bell is going after Clint Hurdle.
Yes, he is
upset.
He is.
That's the second manager this year that has gone after Clint Hurdle. First it was Joe Madden, and now it is David Bell.
Garrett went flying towards the Pirates dugout and went throwing punches. A certain suspension for him. David Bell, who had already been ejected from this game, out of the dugout, trying to get to Clint Hurdle. And they got to separate these two teams somehow, because this is not going to stop.
That's Sonny Gray and Chris Archer.
And now Puig is being separated from the mix. Derek Dietrich still very unhappy.
Puig's coming around the other side.
Here he goes.
Unhappy.
And now he's going after somebody, and we're right back up again. Flaring up once more, and now Puig trying to be held back. And it's all mixed up right in front of the Pirates dugout.
And now Puig from the back. Puig coming at Crick.
Up. It started when it looked like Jeff Pickler came out to take Amir Garrett out of the game, and when Garrett left the mound, he went straight for the Pirate dugout.
Brent, I don't think I've ever seen a pitcher charge an opponent's dugout, and as soon as the guys came out of the dugout from the Pirates, Garrett was delivering haymakers.
Cooler heads need to prevail here. They need to get Puig off the field. They need to get David Bell off the field. They're holding back Votto in this melee.
Well, at some point, reason has to survive right here, and everybody just needs to take a deep breath and back off. There will be suspensions. There will be fines. Hopefully there are no injuries.
And this one will be a hard one to sort out. They need to get Puig off this field.
I'm not sure who's been ejected out of this ball game or not, other than we know for certain Hughes, Benavides, and David Bell.
Now the two teams migrating towards each other once again. This is going to be multiple ejections. Fines, as you said, suspensions.
Yeah. We've got a few that are trying to head back to their position. Suarez and Iglesias starting to head back toward their spot. And the umpires are trying to get the Reds back into their corner and the Pirates back to theirs. And it looks like for now things have cooled off. Puig is still fuming. He doesn't want to be touched by anybody right now. And he is shouting at everybody.
I mean, in the 30-plus years I've been doing this, I have never seen a pitcher charge another team's dugout.
No.
Ever.
Was Garrett on the mound?
To throw his glove down and basically charge the Pirates dugout and then throw a haymaker.
Garrett on the mound, and he was talking to Jeff Pickler and had enough. And this is what started. Garrett went flying in there with a punch that looked like it connected. Nope, it missed. Luckily, Suarez, the first red there. In the bottom of your screen, you're going to see David Bell sprinting out of the Reds dugout, went straight for Clint Hurdle, pushed him away. Bell gets taken to the ground, put in a headlock, and really getting roughhoused on the bottom of the pile. And when he got up, it's as mad as you will ever see. And the words directly at Clint Hurdle. Second benches clearing situation between these two teams this season. These two teams still have to play a game here tomorrow afternoon. And now, as I said, that Puig was on the field with his glove. Now he is walking off. We are going to assume that he's one of the ejections. And if you believe the trade rumors out there tonight, this might be the last time you see him in a Reds uniform.
A warm ovation. You got to figure that most of the folks in attendance tonight
got their money's worth.
They got their money's worth, and they are aware of the situation, and they are applauding Yasiel Puig for one final time as a Red.
Well, it would be kind of ironic, wouldn't it, for the receiving team, if Puig is indeed traded, would have to wait a few days for his service if he is suspended.